Welcome to my channel. If this is the first time being here, thank you very much for tuning in. Peruse around the channel and take a look at some of the videos. If you like what you see, I'd appreciate a subscribe. If you don't like it and it's not your cup of tea, no hard feelings. I wanted to do a video. It's been a year since we purchased the Shop Saber CNC, and I felt it was necessary for us to give a review of our feelings of the machine, how we've used it, maybe even talk a little bit about the buying decision for our purchase. Now, I will preface that the Shop Saber group is not a sponsor of my channel. We paid for this machine and it was very expensive. To start off a little bit, this wasn't our first CNC machine. I did have a Cam Master CNC prior to this machine. It was a much smaller machine. The footprint, the cutting footprint on it was 2 foot by 4 foot. So we did a lot of small projects with it. We did a lot of carvings. I'm sure you see people selling flags on Etsy, military carvings. We would do some 3D image carvings for individuals, signs, and then we did some templates for other projects. That machine was great. I had no issues with it in the 3 years that we had it. Purchased it initially just to get my feet wet on CNCs in general and just see if it was something that I could make money at. The Cam Master was a great little machine. I wasn't intimidated by it. It worked well for the reasons that we purchased it. It was a good entry-level machine into the market, although the price point was not as cheap as some of the other machines that you might find as a hobbyist type machine. Essentially, it looked a lot like the Shop Saber, just in a much smaller capacity. But very similar in nature. Not like an X-Carve or that type of a machine. It was definitely a kind of a hybrid of a hobbyist machine to possibly even look like a production type machine. After about running that machine for 3 years, we decided that we needed to move into a much larger machine to do the types of projects that we were intending to do. We do a lot of cornholes. If you've seen some of the other videos on my page, you'd notice that we do a lot of cornholes. There's a video out about how cornholes saved my life. If you haven't seen that video, you can give that video a view. And at least give you an understanding of how I got into this business and what cornholes meant to me early on. So in order for us to expand and do more cornholes to meet the demands, we knew that we needed a machine that could handle higher levels of production from that perspective. We also decided that we wanted to do more cabinets. Prior to getting this machine, we were doing cabinets mainly on the table saw, cutting all the parts out and putting them together in that fashion. We knew that in order for us to handle the demand of cabinets that we were being asked to produce, that a machine of this nature was going to take us to the next level, allow us to complete more cabinet jobs and make more money, and which would allow us to reinvest back into the business so that we could continue to grow. Through our research and checking out Cam Master and Laguna, we stumbled upon the Shop Saber. There's a gentleman that does a lot of videos by the name of Router Bob. I think previously he was with Laguna, so there's a lot of videos out with him talking about that machine, doing projects with it, but he moved on to Shop Saber, and also has videos that talk about this machine, the selling points, the things that sets it apart from other machines. But he also had done several projects with the machine, so it allowed me to understand the types of things that I could do with this machine. So I reached out to Shop Sabre to ask a few additional questions that we had on the machine. Very helpful individuals, and started to put together a build sheet, our wants and wishes. And since I was moving from a small machine to more of a kind of a production machine, this is not a high-end production machine, not one that you would see in a knowing but certainly a mile apart from the machine that we started out with, I asked them, knowing what you know about my business, what type of machine should I get? What are the feature functionalities that I might need? And what would you suggest I should buy? Just to at least get an understanding of what other people maybe in my position are running today. Very helpful, offered up a plethora of things that were possibilities for us to purchase along with this machine, but was very candid about the things that I would take advantage of and the things that maybe would be nice to have maybe later on down the line. So he didn't try to upsell me on things that I didn't need, which was great. So through that process of having that back and forth with the salesperson, we landed on the Pro 510, which was the machine that we purchased. Now the 510 indicates that the cutting area is 5 foot wide by 10 foot long. That was about what we were looking to do. Now we could have gone with a 4x8 machine, but there were certain projects that we wanted to do and figured having a 5 foot wide machine was going to allow us a little more flexibility. It also allows us to get 5x5 sheets of material to cut on this machine, whereas a 4x8 sheet or 4x8 machine would not allow us to do so. So after we decided on the actual machine, the feature functionality that we wanted to have go along with this machine, they sent us a bid quote and told us basically it would take about 6 months for them to build the machine and deliver it to our facility. The thing I like about this company is they're small. Like me, they're bigger than I am, but definitely a small company. They don't have machines sitting on a sales room floor waiting for someone to purchase. Everything is custom, everything is built to the customer's specs, and I appreciated that. Once we made the official decision to buy this machine, we made a deposit like you probably do with any major equipment, and over the next 6 months, they would send me updates on where's the machine at in the process, how are things going, and to work on setting up an actual delivery date. I got a lot of literature in the mail in the meantime, specs on the machine, how to get the machine out of its crate and up and running. So there was a myriad of different processes that you had to go through in order to set the machine up and ensure that it runs properly. When the machine arrived, it arrived on a flatbed, and it was completely wrapped in plastic. Looked like it would have coming from any major factory. Once we took delivery of the machine, it took about 2 weeks for us to get the machine up and running, mainly because we needed to run a sub panel over to this side of the shop to power both the machine, the vacuum table, the computer and such. So after spending about 2 weeks playing with the machine, testing it out, making sure that I understood, the quirkiness that it may have, I moved on to thinking about what my first actual project was going to be. I knew I needed to create some files to cut cornhole boards, which was something that, again, was somewhat simple. The learning curve for me on this machine was probably a little less than someone who's never run a CNC before, mainly because the CNC controller that these guys use is the exact same CNC controller that my Cam Master machine ran. Having spent 3 years using that CNC controller, made me a lot more comfortable with how to run this machine. I've been in the software industry for a number of years and understand the help desk mentality and the service around it. When I've called ShopSaber for assistance, they answer the call right away. Right, it's a general number that you call, and it's a receptionist of some sort. I wouldn't call her a secretary. I'm sure she's got a lot of other duties, but when you call that number, they pick up right away. I ask for a technical support, and I'm transferred right away. And 9 times out of 10, there's someone there available for me to ask my question or to get assistance. I think only one time that I've ever had to call that I've been sent to a voicemail, which certainly was promptly returned once someone became available. Well, you might be wondering, why would I need to call tech support? If this is such an amazing machine, what could go wrong? Well, all machines are going to have issues at some point, some minor, some major. In the year that I've had the machine, I haven't had anything major go on. I called them initially for just some guidance on the wiring of the components. And then shortly after I got the machine up and running, the gantry was maybe a little askew, so the gentleman walked me through exactly what I needed to do. I was off the phone in about 5 minutes after doing what he had instructed me to do. Machine ran fine, never had any more problems from that perspective. I had to call them 2 other times for issues that I encountered. One was a bearing on one of the rails had blown up. Well, not blown up, but the bearings had come out of the encasement. So they, again, answered my question, identified what I needed, what parts I needed, overnighted the parts to me, had them the next day, so I didn't miss really a beat in terms of my need to run the machine. The third time that I've had to actually physically call them, switch went bad on my vacuum table. Again, diagnosed the problem, overnighted me a new switch, instructed me on how to install that switch. Again, I was up and running in a matter of an hour or 2. So all in all, I'm extremely happy with the machine. Don't have anything bad to say about it. I don't think that I purchased anything on the machine or feature functionality wise that I don't use. I don't know that there's anything that I would have purchased that I didn't. So very happy with the sales support, directing me on what to buy and what maybe I don't need right now. Very happy with the process of going through, picking out the feature functionality. Very happy with the process of getting the machine here into my shop. Very happy with the technical support and their support in the issues that I have had with the machine. So you might ask, would I buy another one? Absolutely. At this point, I don't have room in my shop for another CNC machine. I don't have the manpower to run another CNC machine. But as I grow and expand and get a bigger space, I would absolutely love to have another machine that I can dedicate to other processes that we run today. Today, this machine does cornholes, it does cabinet parts, it does cabinet doors, it does slab flattening. We do some carvings on it, we do some sign work on it. We use it as a work surface, which isn't a very expensive work surface, but we use it because it's a horizontal surface in my shop that's flat, and when the machine's not running, why not? So if you're in the market for a CNC, whether it's a large machine like what we have, or more of a hobbyist machine to get your feet wet on it, do your research. Go watch some videos. There's a plethora of videos out there from various brands that can talk you through, the feature functionality of the machine, but don't stop there, right? Go talk to people that are also in your industry using CNC machines to get their feedback on the machine that they have, their experience with that machine, and the positives and negatives that go along with it. Do a site visit. Go see the production facility where the machines are made if you have the ability. Go to a trade show. There's several trade shows in the United States where manufacturers like ShopSaber and others are demonstrating their machines. Ask for a site visit. Go see a customer of theirs running their machine in their environment to see how it works and what they're using it for. If you're still watching the video, thank you very much for tuning in. If you like what you saw and you want to see more from my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, so that way you're notified of future videos that I put out. If you have any other questions about the ShopSaber CNC or just my experience with the CNCs in general, feel free to comment below and I'll answer all the questions that come in. I gotta go. I got spaghetti waiting for me inside. Bye.